Okay, hello second graders. Today we are looking at our reteaching pages. We're at the end of our topic, which is super exciting. We're at the end of topic 4 specifically, and we're going to be looking at sets A through D today. If you can please turn your page to page 243, that's where we're going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my workspace with you, and we're going to get started here. Okay, so we're looking first at set A. You can see at the top here. And the directions ask us to, or tell us, that you can use partial sums to find the sum. And they want us to find 46 plus 37. Okay, so just as a recap, partial sums is the strategy where we start in the tens place and then we move over to the ones place. So here we have our example, 46 plus 37. Again, I'm starting in the tens place, and I see I have 4 tens plus 3 tens, which is the same as 40 plus 30. I wrote it out here to the side. And I know that 40 plus 30 gives me a sum of 70, so I'm going to put that in there. And then I now move to my ones, where I see 6 plus 7. So I'm going to go ahead and see that they have written 6 plus 7 here on the side. I know that 6 plus 7 is a near double, right? So if 6 plus 6 equals 12, then I know 6 plus 7 equals 13. Okay, and that leaves me with my two sums that I now need to add, 70 plus 13. One way of thinking about that is to visualize the base 10 blocks for that in your mind. So I know I have 7 tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And 13 added to that. So that's 1 10 and 3 ones. So altogether that would give me a total of 80 and 3, 83. Okay, all right, so that is partial sums. They're going to ask you to do one on your own. They're being asked to add. They want you to use partial sums as your strategy. Okay, and then they encourage you to use place value blocks if needed, and that's what we did here in on the side. So you have some space there. Once you find your sums for your tens and your sums for your ones, you can draw those base 10 blocks here to find your final sum. Okay, all right, let's take a look at set B then. Set B says you can show partial sums another way. So they're asking you to find 29 plus 63. So this time, they still started by adding the tens first, but you can see they took away this piece here where they write the equation out to the side. They just took that piece away. So I have 2 tens here and 6 tens here. That's 20 plus 60. And I know that gives me a sum of 80. So I'm going to write that first, 80. And now moving over to my ones, I have 9 plus 3, and that gives me a sum of 12. So I'm going to write that here. Okay, and it's still okay to use the base 10 blocks once you get to this point. So 80 would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, plus 12 would be 10, 11, 12. So altogether, I have 90 plus 2 more for a sum of 92. Okay. All right, so it's the same steps. It's just taking away the part where you write out the equation on the side. All right, and that is what you're going to do for numbers 2 and 3. Okay, moving ahead, let's go ahead and take a look at set C. Set C tells us you can regroup to find a sum. Find 28 plus 34. So we have it written out here, 28 plus 34, and they do both strategies. They draw it with base 10 blocks, making sure the tens are in one column and the ones are in another column, and then they also line up tens and ones and they regroup as needed. So let's go ahead and start looking here at the first chart. 28 would be 2 tens, which you can see are here, 2 tens and 8 ones. And kind of will help visually if I just trace it, I think, with pink. So here's my 2 10s, and then my 8 ones is this first set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And my second group is 34. So I have 1, 2, 3 10s plus 4 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I know my next question needs to be, do I have enough ones to make a 10? And in this case, I sure do. So I scoop those up. I'm going to cross them out, and I'm going to trade them in for another rod. Okay, so now I have, we can count by tens here. Please count with me. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, plus 2 ones. So 62 altogether is what I get here. And then I can look at that same problem, lining up my tens and ones. 28 plus 34. Now remember, for this traditional method, the regrouping, you have to start in the ones. That's the difference between this one and partial sums. So for my ones, I have 8 plus 4. That's going to give me a total of 12. I can't put 2 digits here in the ones place, so I have to carry my 1. I'm going to split it apart and bring my 2 down. There's my 12. Now in my tens, I have 1 plus 2. That gives me 3, and 3 plus 3 is a double, I know. That gives me 6, for a total of 62. So you can see both answers match. All right, so you're going to use that same strategy here for number 4. One is lining up tens and ones and regrouping, and the other one is base 10 blocks. You can start with either strategy. One thing that I've encouraged you to do in the past, instead of splitting up the numbers the way they did in the example, I like to do it this way. So when I represent 32, I would represent 10, 20, 30, 2. And when I represent 48, I would do 10, 20, 30, 40, and 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've found that this way just helps us to see a little more clearly when we need to regroup. Okay, so it's just a little tip that we've talked about before. And then our last set, set D, the directions say line up the tens and the ones to add. And our equation is 54 plus 29. And so they show us, 45 plus 29. And so they show us here 45 for my first add-in plus 29 for my second add-in. Again, I'm doing the regrouping strategy, so I'm going to start in the ones. 5 plus 9 gives me a total of 14. So I'm going to carry that 1, bring the 4 down. And now in my tens, I have 4 plus 1, which is 5, and 5 plus 2, which gives me 7. Okay? All right, and we're going to ask you to do that same strategy where you take the equation and you line it up in your tens and ones columns for numbers 5 and 6. Okay? All right, guys, so these problems you have had a lot of practice with. So, you know, if you have questions or you get stuck, I'm really encouraging you to reach out so that you and I can talk about it a little bit more one-on-one. I think that you're going to be really successful with them because we've been working a lot with these types of strategies in our number spiral. But I'm here if you need. Okay, guys? So I hope you have a great day otherwise. And of course, I will be seeing you very soon. Okay? All right, guys. Bye.